figure out how to addict people to their apps. And you have a whole record of executives now saying from these companies, we don't let our children on these apps. So there's a recognition that that these technologies are very addictive, and that has huge consequences for children, especially. And yet, we're basically living through a growing public health epidemic
of addiction.
And she's already kind of like implying a great point where it's like, where do children stop? Like, there's a lot of people out there who are children. They're just unsupervised children who can drive cars and have jobs and stuff, and they're on this shit. And then she says this thing here.
Of addiction to these technologies. Depression rates among children, among teenagers are going up.
Depression rates among children and teenagers is going up because of all of this exposure to social media. And I think what a lot of people think about that is that because they base so much on their self-worth on whether or not, like, a post they have does well. A girl posts something and she's like, well, I look really pretty in this, so I'm going to get a lot of likes. And she just gets a couple of likes. And then she's just, like, really depressed by it. Or this guy is like, he's like, man, I'm looking fucking ripped, man. I'm fucking rippling. I'm going to get so many likes. And, like, nobody gives a shit. Nobody shares it or anything. Like, that's a huge downer. Or, like, you host a Twitch show every night and fucking nobody comes. But that's not what that's about. Entirely, I don't think. I think what it's about, too, is, like, exposure to these mechanisms. And, just getting sucked in, having all this outrage, doom scrolling, seeing all this doom across the world, thinking about themselves, thinking about where they're at, thinking about their future, and then getting terribly depressed. It's not just about self-image issues. I think it's about world image issues based on where they fall in the fucking algorithm and how it affects them. I stopped doing Facebook because I realized that everybody that was my friend on Facebook, and I had like almost 3,000 friends at that point, people that I know in real life. I know a fucking ton of people in real life. I don't tell them anything about what's going on with me now because they're all fucking idiots, and I can't stand them because their minds are social media, and they have no goddamn principles anymore. It's terrible. And so I got out of it, and after I got out of it, I noticed I was a lot happier. And so, like, I'll be, like, on Twitter or something, and then somebody will tweet that they're depressed. And you know what you should never do when somebody tweets that they're depressed? Talk to them. Because no matter what you say, you're going to get in fucking trouble. If you tell them, change things up to try to break yourself out of your depression, because I have depression too, and I've dealt with it. I've done things to try to get out of it. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but I keep trying. And then eventually I do. Sometimes a new thing does it. Sometimes exercising does it. Sometimes, just doing pure adulting for a little while does it. Sometimes some heavy breathing and a nice cold shock does it. There are things that you can do. Well, what you shouldn't do if you're depressed is be on fucking social media. That should be your go-to move. If you're about to tweet or update your Facebook to say that you are depressed, that's when you need to fucking log out. Just log out. And then when you get in a good mood and you're looking to ruin it, go ahead and log back in.